Part 51. Super God Undead Lord. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 501. Gong Yuan's mysterious operation not only made the audience complain, but also Li Ming and Anjun frowned. After the undercurrent, the muddy water was the same speed as ours, and you were dozens of yards away from the muddy water, and the muddy water couldn't catch up with you at all. Why did you use the acceleration so early? How cowardly are you? A god-level strongman was actually scared by a Saint King? Have the nerve? Li Ming and Anjun were both angry, but Gong Yuan's mistake had little impact on the whole battle situation, so they didn't say much, and chased Yang Tian directly and continued to attack. Undercurrent surges. The dark lake under Yang Tian's feet, which was originally calm, suddenly became turbulent. Immediately, a huge black wave was stirred up behind Yang Tian, rushing forward, like the huge mouth of a wild beast, swallowing Li Ming, Anjun, and Gong Yuan in an instant. Li Ming and Anjun each suffered some damage from this attack. And Gong Yuan? He is actually very cautious. As a mage, he has already put on 3 elemental shields, flame armor, ice armor, and earth armor. He is a god-level mage, and the 3 elemental shields are also full-level skills. Each elemental shield has a life strength of 300 billion. In addition, the flame armor increases some fire resistance, the ice armor increases some ice resistance, and the earth armor increases some physical defense. But it does not increase dark resistance. The undercurrent caused 300 billion damage to Gong Yuan and directly blew up the flame armor. That's not all. The undercurrent has 2 effects. The first one is to push out the undercurrent under your feet and deal a large-scale burst damage. The second one is that the releaser can teleport to any coordinate where the undercurrent falls. Swoosh! With a flash of white light, Yang Tian and the rolling and whistling black waves disappeared out of thin air. The next moment, Yang Tian stepped on the dark lake and teleported behind Gong Yuan. Wow! Brother Shui's undercurrent can be used in this way? Not only can it slow down the enemy, but it can also deal a large-scale burst damage, plus a displacement. Get lost, that's not an undercurrent, it's another skill called undercurrent surge. Tisk tisk, Brother Shui is Brother Shui, all kinds of methods emerge in an endless stream. Seeing the scene in front of them, countless viewers were shocked instantly. Undercurrent surge, flash, undead transfer, for Yang Tian, these 3 skills are life-saving skills, and under normal circumstances, he would not use them. And this time, he used one when there was no danger, just to kill Gong Yuan. Stun. With a bang, Yang Tian swung a stun club and hit Gong Yuan's back of the head, knocking him out. At the same time, the ice armor on Gong Yuan's body broke into 2 halves with a crack and fell down. Huh? A mere stun club, such high damage. Yes, Gong Yuan is a god-level strongman after all, and his ice armor has at least 300 billion life thickness. In addition, he has purple fighting spirit, which reduces damage 8 times. It is understandable that Brother Shui's undercurrent blasted the flame armor, but a mere stun club can also cause such high damage. I don't understand, I really don't understand. Seeing Yang Tian blasting Gong Yuan's ice armor with a stun club, countless viewers were shocked again. Not only them, but even Li Ming and the Dark Army were choked in their hearts. Neither of them thought that Yang Tian was only a Saint King, but the damage was so high. A mere stun club can cause 300 billion damage to a god-level strongman with full-level fighting spirit. If other burst skills are used, what will happen? Not to mention Gong Yuan, can I bear it? At this thought, cold sweat rolled down Li Ming and the Dark Army's foreheads, and they couldn't help swallowing their saliva. In fact, they didn't know that Yang Tian had the title of low-key warrior. Back attack triggered triple damage. Sap undoubtedly has a strong control ability, and stun is hard control. But Sap is one of the skills with the lowest percentage damage in Taegzu. However, even so, under the increase of triple damage from back attack. The damage is also amazing. Not only did it explode Gong Yuan's ice armor, but it even consumed a small amount of Gong Yuan's earth armor. Because of the difference in realm, I'm afraid the stun I caused to this guy is less than a second. Yang Tian's heart trembled, and he attacked forcefully. Backstab. Piercing the heart. Yang Tian's 2 consecutive attacks not only caused Gong Yuan's last earth armor to explode, but even his life of up to 2 trillion was instantly reduced to about 1/10 at this moment. His brother Shui's damage is enough to kill a god in 1 second. The audience all gasped. They really couldn't understand Yang Tian's damage. After all, the title of low-key warrior is too difficult to obtain, and most people don't have it. The way to obtain the title of low-key warrior is to get 3 first kills that can trigger a broadcast, and be anonymous. The first kill and the first kill that can trigger a broadcast are 2 different concepts. Some first kills, although there are generous rewards, will not trigger a broadcast. For example, Yang Tian now kills the Holy King and the Holy Beast. There are first kill rewards, but it will not trigger a system broadcast. Obviously, the first kill that can trigger a broadcast is more difficult, and the first kill reward will be more generous. For ordinary players, it is almost impossible to get that level of first kill, and even if they get it, when the broadcast is announced, they will display their ID to show their strength. Of course, in the world of Taeju, besides Yang Tian, there must be other low-key strongmen who have the title of low-key warrior. Even among the countless audiences at the scene, there may be such strongmen. But at this moment, no one stood up to explain the source of Yang Tian's damage. As for the reason, it is terrifying to think carefully. Wow, Gong Yuan is so fast to release the control, it's less than half a second. Well, Brother Shui's realm is too low. After all, he is just a saint king. It's already very abnormal to be able to fight the 3 gods to this extent. The audience shouted in a hurry. It turned out that Gong Yuan got rid of the dizziness when he was at low health, and directly escaped with a flash, leaving a distance of 100 yards from Yang Tian. With the continuous update of the version of Taeju, the skill of flashing has also become a general skill of mages that can be upgraded. As strong as Gong Yuan is, his flashing is naturally a full-level skill, which can teleport up to 100 yards away. Brother Shui has no tricks now. You have to know that Gong Yuan still has the wind on him, so Brother Shui will definitely not be able to catch up. Alas, it was just a little bit short. Seeing Gong Yuan escape at the most critical moment, countless spectators at the scene felt sorry for Yang Tian. However, the damage deepened. Bang! I saw that 100 yards away, the wound on Gong Yuan's body instantly expanded tenfold. The unbearable pain made Gong Yuan, who had just escaped a disaster, freeze his smile instantly. Super God Undead Lord. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 502. At the same time, the expressions of regret or pity on the faces of countless spectators at the scene also froze. Bang! 10332920202011. With a loud bang, Gong Yuan exploded and died, raising a large blood mist in the sky, and a terrifying damage of more than 10 trillion emerged. Gong Yuan exploded a large number of items, including a Xiaoguang godhead. All the items, together with Gong Yuan's broken body, and countless pieces of meat and blood, fell down. This scene told everyone present that another god-level NPC fell in the Chinese theater. China Theater broadcast, player Muddy Water killed Gong Yuan, causing the destruction of the Tianlan Empire. As the broadcast was repeated 3 times over the entire Chinese theater, all the spectators at the scene were stunned, like fools, standing there, unable to wake up from the shock for a long time. I actually killed him. The damage value just now had too many numbers. I didn't see it clearly. How many digits was it? Well, it seems to be more than 10 trillion. Tisk, Brother Shui can actually deal 10 trillion damage. Can you guys do it? Brothers, it doesn't matter how strong Brother Shui is. What's important is that Brother Shui not only did not fall behind when facing 3 gods at the same time, but also killed a god-level strongman. Yes, although Brother Shui killed Emperor Suanwu, Emperor Shinwu, Langyu and other god-level strongmen in a row last time, but he actually defeated them one by one. Before, Brother Shui only faced Xing and Emperor Shinwu at the same time, and Brother Shui couldn't kill them at that time. What do you mean? Are you saying that Brother Shui's strength has increased again within a week? How is this possible? Didn't you see the damage Brother Shui just did? Right, it should be Doqi. Did you notice that Brother Shui didn't have Doqi when he killed Lang Yu, but now he has purple full-level Doqi, and his combat power increased 8 times in an instant, so of course he has become stronger. Tisk tisk tisk, let's not talk about it. I can only say that Brother Shui is really an idol of my generation. Brother Shui is really terrifying. Are there really perverted strongmen like Brother Shui in other war zones? Who knows? Anyway, Brother Shui is now over level 180, he can go to the world ocean, he can go to other war zones. I just hope that all anchors can follow Brother Shui more and bring us Brother Shui's wonderful live broadcast. 666. Yang Tian faced 3 gods at the same time, not falling behind, and killed Gong Yuan. This scene made countless audiences at the scene boil. It made many viewers in the live broadcast room swipe the barrage to express their amazement at Yang Tian. At the scene, Yang Tian's expression was still calm, as if he could not hear the cheers of the scene. The damage deepened, and the cooling time was up to 30 seconds. Yang Tian usually only used the skill at the end, but now he could not care so much. Facing the 3 gods at the same time, he could not be without pressure. The scarlet shield on his body was only 100 trillion strong, which was the most intuitive display of his source of pressure. For him, killing Gong Yuan first would relieve a lot of pressure. Muddy water, you actually. Li Ming and the Dark Army looked at Yang Tian and began to be afraid. Swish. At this time, Yang Tian rushed towards the 2 of them again. The 2 were shocked and actually fled separately. Gong Yuan's death caused them too much psychological blow, so they were afraid and dared not fight Yang Tian again. They almost instinctively chose to run away. Seeing the 2 people running away separately, Yang Tian ignored the Dark Army and chased after Li Ming. Muddy water, you. Li Ming was shocked, his eyes were full of disbelief. In his opinion, he caused more damage to Yang Tian should be more afraid of him. Why ignore the Dark Army and kill him first? However, in Yang Tian's opinion, there is another idea. Li Ming, he is not born with light attribute, but just cultivates light attribute. He has high light intensity and light resistance, but average dark resistance. Angels, or creatures born with light attribute, have high light intensity, light resistance, and dark resistance, and are naturally strong against dark attribute. Compared with angels, Li Ming can only be regarded as a half-baked one. His light intensity and light resistance are not as high as those of 8-winged angels, and his dark resistance is average. His light intensity restrains Yang Tian and can cause high damage to Yang Tian. But his dark resistance is average. Although Yang Tian does not restrain him, he can also deal normal damage, just like fighting Gong Yuan. And compared with demons, Lich Kings, and even Yang Tian, the Undead Master, the Dark Army is also a half-baked one who cultivates dark attribute. But even though he is only a half-baked one, he is a god-level strongman after all. He cultivates the dark attribute and has extremely high dark resistance. If Yang Tian hits him, the damage will be weakened. For this reason, for Yang Tian, Li Ming is easier to kill than the Dark Army. Whoosh! Seeing Yang Tian chasing him relentlessly, Li Ming is under great pressure. The Doqi lotus around him changes shape and turns into a team of huge Doqi light wings inserted behind him. At this moment, his speed soared by 80%. But it was useless. The purple Doqi lotus around Yang Tian also turned into Doqi lightwings at the same time, and his speed was equal to his again. If Li Ming's basic speed is 100, the Doqi wings increase by 80%, and the dark current slows down by 30%, then there is still 126 left. And if Li Ming's basic movement speed is 100, Yang Tian's basic movement speed is 70, and the Doqi wings increase by 80%, which is exactly 126. Of course, the above is just a hypothetical value, which means that the movement speed of both sides is basically the same. Undead transformation, skeleton archer. Armor-piercing arrows. Multiple arrows. Yang Tian fired 2 consecutive arrows, triggering triple back attacks, instantly crippling Li Ming. Wow, wow, wow. Here we go again. Am I the only one who thinks that as long as Brother Shui attacks the enemy from behind, the damage will be terrible? Well, when you say that, it seems true. Some people said before that the increase in Brother Shui's combat power was due to the purple full-level fighting spirit, but now that the fighting spirit has turned into wings, there is no increase in combat power. What do you say? 666, obviously, Brother Shui also has a way to increase the damage from back attacks. Seeing Yang Tian cripple Li Ming in 2 or 3 strokes, countless spectators at the scene exclaimed. They probably saw the special effects of Low-Key Warrior, but they did not know the existence of the title Low-Key Warrior. Muddy Waters, you forced me to do this. From now on, it will not be easy for anyone. Li Ming, who was still bleeding, had disheveled hair and scarlet eyes, showing his embarrassment. He took out a crystal ball and suddenly crushed it. Call out. In an instant, a cylindrical beam of pure white light descended from the vast sky. Afterwards, a figure gradually condensed in the beam of light. The figure roughly maintained a human form, but 4 pairs of pure white wings were flapping behind it. The figure as a whole presented a holy, pure, an aura that made people want to worship. 8-Winged Angel. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Super God Undead Lord. Author, Ba Wang Shi-san. Chapter 503. It's an 8-winged angel. According to legend, it's a powerful existence that can rival the god-level strongmen. With the arrival of the 8-winged angel, countless viewers at the scene and even in many live broadcast rooms were shocked. They have more or less heard the legends about angels and demons, but this is the first time they see an angel, and it's an 8-winged angel, so they are naturally shocked. And the 8-winged angel was full of divine light, with 4 pairs of white wings flapping behind him, and a pure white transparent halo on his head. The whole is full of sacred, majestic, and inviolable noble temperament. It's almost obvious that he is very strong at first glance. The dark army and thousands of strong men in the sky dared not move or breathe after the 8-winged angel appeared, and could only tremble. Master Li Ming stood behind the 8-winged angel, clasped his hands together, and called humbly and respectfully. Master, Master, there was an exclamation at the scene. In many live broadcast rooms, the screen was instantly filled with question marks. They could not understand that the 8-winged angel was only at the level of God, even though it was stronger than the average God-level warriors due to the special nature of its race. But Li Ming should not be so humble and servile, right? You are a God-level warrior at the maximum level, and the emperor of the Guangzhou Empire. Oh, my loyal believer, I think you will not forget the price you paid for crushing the crystal ball to summon me to the lower world, right? The 8-winged angel was named Chester. At this time, he smiled at Li Ming and laughed softly. Believer? It turns out that Li Ming is only a believer of the 8-winged angel. No wonder he calls the latter his master. But he is a god-level warrior and the emperor of the Guangzhou Empire, so he is too shameless. Countless viewers were shocked again. Yes, I dare not forget. As long as the master helps me get rid of the enemy, I am willing to offer my soul to the master. Li Ming stared at Yang Tian with his scarlet eyes and said with a ferocious face. In his opinion, he was already in a situation where he was doomed to die. In this case, are you still afraid of giving up your soul? Moreover, after paying such a high price, you can ask Lord Chester to come out and kill Han Shui to vent your hatred. Tisk tisk tisk, give up your soul? This Li Ming is too rubbish. What do you mean by no face? In front of the eight-winged angel, he is simply a small figure, an ant-like existence. Well, but the eight-winged angel is not a good thing either. Li Ming is at least his believer, but he still wants his soul. It's like I treat you as a brother, but you want to have sex with me, which is chilling. Show, brother, you seem to have a story. 666, tell your story. Many viewers are not afraid of trouble, and they all pay close attention to everything in front of them, and complain by the way. Very good. I am really pleased to have a believer as powerful and enlightened as you. If all the believers under my command are like you, I may be able to break through the ceiling and reach a higher realm. Chester looked at Li Ming with a smile, looking very appreciative. Li Ming's scalp was numb, thinking that if it wasn't for the last resort, only a ghost would be willing to sacrifice his soul. Wow! What did the eight-winged angel say just now? Can he still advance? Isn't the eight-winged angel already equivalent to the realm of God? How can he advance? Is it a 10-winged angel, or a 12-winged angel? Tisk tisk, it seems that in Taixu, God is still not the end. There are more terrifying existences above God, and we have a long way to go. Your long way is bullshit. Even if there is a realm above God, it is not what you can reach. To me, only a strong man like Brother Shui can break through the God level. Damn, can't I just think about it? Chester's pointed words made countless viewers boil. Even Yang Tian was stunned. It seems that the way for angels to advance is to absorb souls, so how about the way for gods to advance? Yang Tian had such a question in his mind. Of course, he also knew that he would definitely not be able to think of it now. Perhaps, only after becoming a god and reaching the god realm can I get information about the advancement of gods. Okay, Li Ming, tell me your enemies. As my most loyal believer, I am willing to help you solve your problems. Chester waved his hand and asked Li Ming directly. Li Ming is a god-level strongman after all. Even if he is just a believer of Chester, Chester still values him very much. At this moment, Chester can call his name, which is the greatest affirmation of him. After all, a real strong man will not take an ant to heart. Master, my enemies are Muddy Water and the Dark Army. Please help me kill them all, Li Ming said fiercely. Hearing this, Yang Tian's face was calm. He had naturally prepared to face Chester. As for the Dark Army, he was stunned, and then roared angrily, Li Ming. You bastard dared to plot against me. Didn't we agree to form an alliance? The Dark Army was sweating profusely, and his heart was twitching. He had never expected that Li Ming would trick him in the end. What a show! Li Ming is really a show. He even dragged another person down with him before he died. It made An Jungzio's scalp numb. Please calculate the psychological shadow area of An Jun. The scene before his eyes turned rapidly, making countless viewers at the scene and countless viewers in many live broadcast rooms happy. At this time, they all felt pity for the Dark Army. Li Ming's eyes were bloodshot and his face was hideous. He seemed to have not heard the Dark Army's roar at all, and he still looked crazy. In his opinion, if Chester went out in person, Yang Tian and the Dark Army would almost certainly die. He didn't need to worry about this. And before he offered his soul to Chester, he would first pass his throne to his Viscount. In that case, even if he fell, his soul would disappear, which was equivalent to no longer existing. But even so, he still had successors, and his viscount could still rule the Guangzhou Empire. This was already the best result he could achieve within the range of options. Huh? Both of them are Dark Souls. This seat hates Dark Souls the most. Chester's eyes swept over Yang Tian and the Dark Army respectively, and snorted coldly. Yang Tian was startled. Inadvertently, he obtained another piece of information about angels. He had previously concluded that angels could devour souls to advance. But, angels hate dark souls, or in other words, devouring dark souls has no effect on angels. Yang Tian was ashamed. He had played Taixu for 5 years in his previous life, but he knew very little about angels and demons. Now he only got a little bit of information, which was already a great benefit to him. Super God Undead Lord. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 504. There is another point. Even if angels can devour dark souls, or if angels can devour dark souls effectively, Yang Tian is not afraid that Chester will devour his soul, because that is impossible. Yang Tian is a player, and players are protected by the Taixu system. Even if they die, it is just a matter of demotion, so it is naturally impossible for their souls to be devoured. But NPCs are miserable. If NPCs are devoured by their souls, it means that they are completely extinct and have no possibility of resurrection. Why is Yang Tian sure that Xiao Jin and Alice can be resurrected in the future? Because their souls still exist. So for the Taixu natives, that is, NPCs, angels are actually a very terrifying existence. Li Ming, you are a god-level strongman at least, and you are a believer of the seat, and you practice light attributes. Why can't you even deal with the two of them? Chester looked at Li Ming and asked lightly. He did not question Li Ming, but was gentle. Are you kidding? If Li Ming could deal with Yang Tian and the Dark Army, how could he crush the crystal ball? It is impossible for him to get Li Ming's soul by taking action. So in his opinion, it is a good thing that Li Ming cannot deal with Yang Tian and the Dark Army. What is there to blame? In fact, Yang Tian only got a little bit of the angel's advancement method. Angels can get light energy by devouring souls. The stronger the soul, such as Li Ming. The purer the soul, such as Alice. The more light energy an angel gets by devouring such souls, the more light energy it gets, and if the soul is both strong and pure, it is even more so. Of course, angels will not get light energy by devouring dark souls, such as Yang Tian, the Dark Army, the Lich King, or the souls of demons. So, Chester just said that he hated dark souls. In addition to the above, angels can also get light energy by spreading their greatness and attracting people to worship and follow them and become their believers. And light energy is the key to angel advancement. For Chester, Li Ming is not only a believer, but also his preacher. Li Ming often promoted his greatness to the people of Guangzhou Empire, helped him increase his followers and improve his light energy. Because of this, even if Chester wanted Li Ming's soul again, he had no excuse. But this time, it was Li Ming who took the initiative to crush his crystal ball and summoned him to the lower world. Because of the previous contract, he could devour Li Ming's soul openly. Of course, before devouring Li Ming's soul again, he must abide by the contract and fulfill Li Ming's last wish. Of course, he can also regret it, but in that case, he will lose the trust of all believers, and the believers will no longer believe in him, and they will not be his believers, so his light energy will decrease accordingly. Master, I am sure to deal with the Dark Army. But the blood-sucking shield of the muddy water is too strong, and I can't kill him with my power, Li Ming said aggrievedly. He is already half dead, but at this point, he still cares about face. But this is normal. He is a god-level strongman, but he can't win under the dual suppression of realm and attributes, and he was almost killed by a holy king. This is really embarrassing. I see Chester also saw the scarlet shield on Yang Tian and nodded. In fact, it has been a while since Chester appeared. During this period, Yang Tian did not take any action, just watched them fight quietly, but he did not withdraw from the attack state. Because, although he did not fight, the 5 blood residual bone dragons were still fighting with Xiao Fei and others below, dealing with the 100,000 elite soldiers of the Guangzhou Empire. The battle of the undead under his command is equivalent to his combat power. Every time the 5 bone dragons kill someone, a blood ball will pop out and rush to his body. Although the damage of the bone dragon cannot refresh the strength of his current shield, it can keep him in the attack state, so his scarlet shield will not disappear. Note, the scarlet shield will disappear 5 seconds after he leaves the battle. Now the strength of Yang Tian's scarlet shield is still 100 trillion as before. Okay, now that I'm here in person, you can rest assured. If you have any last wishes, prepare as soon as possible, Chester said generously. Li Ming smiled bitterly, but also felt relieved. Chester wanted to devour his soul, which was cruel. But Chester also gave him the opportunity to explain his affairs and inherit the throne, which was very tolerant. He was already satisfied and relieved. Of course, even if he was not satisfied, what could he do? Li Ming. You sinister villain, if you are not doomed to die, I will kill you with my own hands anyway. Forget it, you guys fight slowly, forgive me. The Dark Army obviously still hated Li Ming for plotting against him, but at this moment he himself could not protect himself. He left a cruel word and wanted to crush the teleportation stone and escape. It is worth mentioning that Yang Tian was in an attacking state because his bone dragons were fighting. The Dark Army had long since withdrawn from the attacking state, so he could naturally crush the teleportation stone and escape. However, before he could finish his words and crush the teleportation stone, Chester rushed forward, crushing the air, leaving a trail of light and shadow behind him, and came to him at lightning speed, which startled him. At the same time, Chester took out a long sword. Chester, his race is an angel, but his profession is a swordsman. Light energy conversion. In the blink of an eye, the long sword in Chester's hand completely turned into a dazzling lightsaber, containing powerful light attributes and explosive power. Yang Tian only knew that angels had 2 bloodline skills, one to increase combat power and the other to increase attack and movement speed. That's right, whether it's a 2-winged angel, a 4-winged angel, or a 6-winged angel, they only have those 2 bloodline skills. But the 8-winged angel, the bloodline is further awakened, and gets the 3rd bloodline skill, light energy conversion. This bloodline skill can turn weapons into light, increase a lot of light intensity, and last forever without CD. That is, you can turn it on and off as you want. However, for every minutes of this bloodline skill, the 8-winged angel will permanently lose 1 point of light energy. And light energy is the key to the angel's advancement, and every point is very precious. When an angel preaches, every additional believer only increases 1 point of light energy, which is precious. Moonlight slash. Chester swung the lightsaber in his hand, emitting a crescent-shaped sword energy, which slashed at the Dark Army at close range. At this moment, a bloody wound instantly appeared on the Dark Army's body, and blood gushed out like a fountain, his pupils dimmed instantly, and he lost his vitality, but his face still maintained an expression of disbelief. The Dark Army fell, killed instantly by Chester's sword, and countless items exploded and fell down with his cold body. Super God Undead Lord. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 505. Although it's a long story, Chester's whole set of actions was extremely coherent, including charging, opening buff, and killing the Dark Army in an instant. Many viewers at the scene didn't even see it clearly, but only saw Chester charging and pulling out a scene of light and shadow behind him. It wasn't until the Dark Army burst into blood and died, and countless items burst out and fell down with his body, that many viewers at the scene just reacted. Hiss. For a while, the sound of gasps at the scene rose and fell. Wow, is the eight-winged angel so terrifying? Isn't it said that the eight-winged angel is equivalent to the realm of God, but he killed the dark army in an instant? Too scary. Brother Shui is a necromancer, and he is most afraid of light attributes. For Brother Shui, this eight-winged angel is even more terrifying than Lang Yu at the beginning. The dark army fell in an instant, which shocked countless viewers at the scene and the vast number of viewers in many live broadcast rooms. Compared with Yang Tian, they understand angels even less. Although the eight-winged angel is equal to God in realm, the angel bloodline is too powerful. The dark army only cultivated the godhood to become a god. He is just an ordinary god-level strongman, and he doesn't even have bloodline skills, and his light resistance is very low, and his attributes are restrained, so he is even less of an opponent of the eight-winged angel. What's more, Chester also opened light energy conversion, and it was normal to kill the dark army in one move. That lightsaber, is it the third bloodline skill of the angel? Yang Tian thought to himself, and then felt wrong. Although Chester is an eight-winged angel, his profession is a swordsman. Yang Tian played for 5 years in his previous life and more than 3 years in this life, and he has never heard of a swordsman having that kind of lightsaber skill. Therefore, Yang Tian only suspects Chester's lightsaber from his angel bloodline. But angels, Yang Tian has also killed them, and the Senbon Shuiying in the Japanese war zone is a six-winged angel. Senbon Shuiying is an archer, so she naturally doesn't have a lightsaber, but Yang Tian has never seen her use a longbow that can be transformed into light. Could it be that the eight-winged angel has awakened the third bloodline skill? Yang Tian suddenly thought of this and was sweating coldly. Does this mean that if the eight-winged angel continues to advance, it will continue to awaken bloodline skills? If that's the case, it would be too scary. Swish. After killing the dark army, Chester spread the 4 pairs of angel wings behind him, turned around, and attacked Yang Tian at a very fast speed. Yang Tian was shocked and turned around and ran. In Yang Tian's opinion, this Chester is even more terrifying than Lang Yu, who was holding the Dragon Slayer sword at the beginning. Chester is an 8-winged angel, which increases the damage by 8 times. For Yang Tian, this is equivalent to half of the Dragon Slayer sword. Because of the Blood Wolf order, Lang Yu's attributes doubled, but Chester is an 8-winged angel, and his restraint on Yang Tian is even more terrifying. Attacking Yang Tian can increase the damage by at least 100 times. Overall, for Yang Tian alone, Chester is much more terrifying than Lang Yu holding the dragon-slaying sword. What's more, Chester is holding a lightsaber in his hand. Although Yang Tian still has a scarlet shield with a strength of 100 trillion, he is not sure to withstand Chester's attack. Of course, in Yang Tian's view, he still has a chance of winning, that is, refreshing the strength of the scarlet shield. As long as he descends below, uses corpse explosion, and randomly finds some elite soldiers of the Guangzhou Empire to bomb a wave, the chance of winning will appear. Emily had reminded him long ago that he should not rely too much on the Scarlet Shield. But now he is facing the 8-winged angel, who is a natural enemy of him. What can he do? Master. The traitor Han Shui has a strong blood-sucking ability. He can't let him go down to fight the elite soldiers to suck blood. Otherwise, his blood-sucking shield will be even stronger. Li Ming instantly saw through Yang Tian's intention and reminded loudly. Upon hearing this, Chester's mouth curled up, revealing a rippled smile. Obviously, Yang Tian's Saint King realm and dark attributes made him feel deeply disdainful. If it weren't for getting Li Ming's soul as soon as possible, he wouldn't even bother to attack Yang Tian, an ant. But he still attacked, naturally not because he listened to Li Ming's advice, but because he wanted to get Li Ming's soul as soon as possible. 10-mile sword wave. Swish. Chester held the lightsaber and suddenly swept across, instantly stimulating a half-moon-shaped sword wave that was 10 feet long and 100 yards wide, accompanied by a terrifying sound of breaking through the air, rushing towards Yang Tian. Yang Tian knew that he couldn't avoid that terrifying range by just moving, so he decisively gave up the undead transfer and exchanged himself with a blood-residing bone dragon below. Zitsize, roar. The possible bone dragon was cut in half by the terrifying sword wave, and with a mournful cry, it quickly fell. Fortunately, at the cost of its life, Yang Tian was safe. Extreme summoning. Corpse explosion. Facing Chester's threat, Yang Tian had almost no time to think, and directly used corpse explosion to kill thousands of enemy elite soldiers. Countless blood balls popped out and poured into Yang Tian's body, once again refreshing the scarlet shield on his body. Shield strength, 209-2093. The value was too large. Yang Tian counted it 2 or 3 times before he could count it clearly, and it actually reached 2 jing, that is, 20,000 trillion. It's just a purple fighting spirit, but it actually increased my damage so much. Yang Tian was stunned, and then ecstatic. Last time, when he attacked the Xinwu Empire, he also used corpse explosion to kill thousands of Xinwu Empire soldiers, sucking blood to convert shields, and the shield strength was more than 2,400 trillion. And now, his purple fighting spirit increases his combat power 8-fold, and the shield he forms is even stronger. Brother Shui sucked blood again, and the color of the blood-sucking shield instantly became several times brighter. Brother Shui is invincible. With this blood-sucking shield alone, he can crush the 8-winged angel without a brain, just like he crushed Lang Yu at that time. Brother Shui is a bit interesting. He is not strong when he meets a strong person, but strong when he meets a weak person. His army of undead, with its blood-sucking characteristics, will not be very useful when fighting against a strong person, but it is easy to bully a weak person, and while bullying a weak person, it can also suck blood to form an invincible shield. 6666, brother, you have some understanding. Seeing the scene in front of them, countless viewers at the scene, and even the vast number of viewers in many live broadcast rooms, were all shocked. They once again experienced the power of Yang Tian's Scarlet Shield. Even Li Ming frowned deeply. Only Chester still looked calm. Whoosh! Chester rushed over again as fast as the wind. And this time, Yang Tian was not afraid and fought him head-on. Bang, bang, bang. As the two exchanged fire, they crushed the air, causing a piercing roar, stimulating the nerve cells of countless spectators. The exciting and fierce battle made them unable to move their eyes away, for fear of missing even a trace of details. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Super God Undead Lord. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 506. Yang Tian was getting more and more frightened as he fought. He still underestimated the restraint of the 8-winged angel on him. Chester's combat power was very high, and because Yang Tian's light resistance was low, his light intensity could often achieve unexpected results. Every time Yang Tian took a move from him, the strength of the Scarlet Shield would drop by a certain amount. You know, in his eyes, the Scarlet Shield also had a health bar. When the strength was damaged, the shield health bar would drop as a percentage. Compared with the huge value, Yang Tian would be more intuitive when looking at the shield health bar. In just 1 minute, after Yang Tian took multiple attacks from Chester, the health bar of the Scarlet Shield dropped by half. In other words, Chester caused about 10,000 trillion damage to him in this short minute. When Yang Tian hit him, because his attributes were restrained, his combat power was greatly weakened, and he could only deal about 1 billion damage with one move. When the health bar of Yang Tian's shield dropped by half, Chester's health bar only dropped by January 20th. However, compared to Yang Tian, Chester was more surprised. He stared at Yang Tian with his eyes wide open and his mouth twitching. His expression could be described as horrified. Human, you actually have a shield that is 10,000 times stronger than your own, Chester was no longer as calm as before, and exclaimed. What a joke, he is an 8-winged angel, and he can't kill him in terms of realm and attributes, how can he be calm? You know, only Yang Tian can see the health bar and strength value of Yang Tian's scarlet shield. Outsiders can't see it. Chester can only judge the strength by the color of the scarlet shield. Indeed, after he attacked for a minute, the color of Yang Tian's scarlet shield dimmed a lot. But color is too abstract and vague, he has no way to tell how strong the shield is. At this time, he stared at Yang Tian, and naturally there was an unknown fear in his heart. No, I still have plenty of vitality. Now is not the time to retreat. Damn it, a mere Saint King, who is like an ant, has shaken my tenacious heart. Chester's eyes were stern, and he continued to attack Yang Tian with firm faith. Seeing that Chester could withstand the pressure, how could Yang Tian bear it? He immediately activated the dragon transformation. The dragon transformation doubled all attributes, and the real combat power increased by more than 10 times. However, due to the attribute restraint, even if Yang Tian was a dragon transformation, the effect of using skills to hit Chester was still very weak. One move could only deal about 2 billion damage, which was negligible. It seems that I can't bear it anymore. It's time to show my real skills. Yang Tian's eyes were stern, and he moved forward directly, and started with a club, stunning Chester. Shadow attack. Backstab. Pierce the heart. He slashed Chester with a knife, triggered shadow attack, and pulled out a dash behind him, coming behind Chester at a speed second only to teleportation, and then attacked fiercely, triple back attack. However, his set of strong attack combos, and under the condition of triple back attack, still only knocked down 1% of Chester's health bar. Even so, Yang Tian could only consume it slowly. Chester is an 8-winged angel, equivalent to the realm of God. And Yang Tian is only a holy king. For Yang Tian, Chester's negative resistance is very high, and his dizziness only controlled Chester for less than half a second. After Yang Tian finished a set of combos, Chester immediately got rid of control. Yang Tian was shocked and quickly distanced himself from Chester. You know, Yang Tian is now a dragon, and with the undercurrent, his movement speed is faster than Chester. Undead transformation, skeleton archer. Armor-piercing arrows. Multiple arrows. Rain of arrows. Every time Yang Tian fired an arrow, he would move back. This set of actions is the standard walk and cut in traditional online games. With a slightly faster movement speed, Yang Tian began to kite. However, Yang Tian could not move at the moment of attack. In other words, he could not move when attacking. This invisibly caused that every time he attacked, Chester would take 1 or 2 more steps, gradually smoothing out the speed difference and getting closer to him. But every time Chester got close, he would use a control skill, such as meteor arrows, ghost hands. Through control, Yang Tian once again distanced himself from Chester and kited him infinitely. Even though Yang Tian's damage to Chester was extremely low, Chester was not feeling well under the continuous kiting, and his health bar began to slowly decrease. Brother Shui is suddenly showing off. Yes, Brother Shui has reached this level today, his basic skills such as operation and awareness must be good. Look at Brother Shui's movement and attack, it is simply smooth and coherent. Not only that, Brother Shui's control of the CD of each control skill is almost perfect. Look, how many seconds have passed, Brother Shui is infinitely kiting, and the 8-winged angel didn't even touch him. I dare say that all the shooters here, your movement and attack basic skills are far from reaching Brother Shui's level. Well, I'm a shooter, so I have a say in the attack. But Brother Shui is still too strong. I can hardly see his finishing moves. They are all offset by his movement. This is too scary. To put it more intuitively, if Brother Shui and I are at the same level and have the same attributes, and we are fighting against each other, I hit Brother Shui once, and Brother Shui has already hit me twice. Don't you think this is scary? Tisk tisk tisk, you guys only see the surface. Why do you think Brother Shui suddenly showed off? If his blood-sucking shield is really invincible, wouldn't it be better to just bear it without thinking? Well, this is terrifying when you think about it, brother, you mean. That's right, the damage of the 8-winged angel is too high, and Brother Shui's blood-sucking shield must be gone. He has to show off. If he doesn't show off, he will be defeated. Of course, Brother Shui's basic skills of attacking are still worthy of recognition from everyone present, because it is really amazing. Yang Tian's perfect attack kite made countless audiences at the scene roar with excitement. In many live broadcast rooms, the screen was full of 666 bullets. In general, everyone is a game player, and they still recognize the technical masters. For example, some local tyrants, with super equipment, can kill monsters in seconds. Although ordinary players don't say anything on the surface, they still sneer in their hearts. Only those with solid basic skills, technical masters, and some super equipment to improve attributes and have super combat power can get the ultimate recognition of ordinary players. And it is obvious that Yang Tian is that kind of master player. After all, he didn't play in vain for 5 years in his previous life. Super God Undead Lord. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 507. Yang Tian's basic skills are quite solid. Even if we look at the entire server of Taixu, his basic skills are at the top of the pyramid. However, as a senior audience said, although he is showing off, his situation is not good at this time. The gap between the two sides' combat power is too big. After a set of combos, Chester will lose only 1% of his health. And after a set of combos by Chester, his shield strength will lose several trillions, and the shield health bar will drop by 1/10. In fact, while kiting Chester, Yang Tian is always on guard against the latter using large-scale skills. Yang Tian knows that no matter how coquettish, smooth, and flowing he is, it is impossible to dodge the opponent's large-scale skills. And flashing, undercurrent surge, undead transfer, these instant displacement life-saving skills have a very long CD, which is much longer than the CD of ordinary skills. 10-mile sword wave. Finally, after Chester used various large-scale skills to replace all of Yang Tian's life-saving skills, Chester once again slashed out a huge, horizontal half-moon sword wave. Yang Tian was hit directly, and the strength of his shield instantly lost hundreds of megabytes. What's more terrifying is that the 10-mile sword wave actually has a slowing effect, and Yang Tian's movement speed was greatly weakened in an instant. Chester took the opportunity to stick to him, and another set of combos output, causing Yang Tian's shield health bar to drop again and again, leaving only about 1/3. Although this 1/3 is still about 7,000 megabytes of life strength, it is obvious that under Chester's explosive combat power, this shield strength is nothing at all. In short, Yang Tian's current situation has reached a very dangerous time. If this rhythm continues, I will be the loser. Yang Tian's heart trembled. After all, the strength of his scarlet shield at this time can only withstand Chester's 2 sets of combos at most. Although Chester only has a total life of 2 or 3 megabytes, now there is only more than 1 megabyte left. However, due to the dual suppression of realm and attribute, the damage Yang Tian could cause to him was too limited. Should I run away? Yang Tian suddenly had such a thought in his mind. There is nothing shameful about running away. Facing a strong man, he dragged the defeat to the point of a draw. In fact, running away is definitely a tactic and a wisdom. And now, Yang Tian can indeed run away from Chester. Chester's 10-mile sword wave only slowed down for 3 seconds. After these 3 seconds, Yang Tian turned into a dragon, plus the undercurrent, and his speed was still faster than Chester, so he could naturally run away. Long Lu, just as Yang Tian was about to retreat, a strong figure suddenly flew up, which startled Yang Tian. Brother Shui, maybe I can withstand his damage. Long Lu flew towards Yang Tian and shouted loudly. Can you? Yang Tian was startled. Roar. Long Lu didn't say much, turned on the dragon, and a white light flashed, turning into a dragon man, silently expressing his determination. Long Liu's dragon form is completely different from Yang Tian Huangmao, or Xian Yuan Long's dragon form at the time. Long Liu's dragon scales are shiny black, spread out evenly, like iron castings, with a feeling of tenacity and ability to withstand everything. If Yang Tian and others are just ordinary dragons, then Long Lu is an iron dragon. Looking at Long Liu's powerful figure, Yang Tian nodded secretly. Long Lu is a holy king, a hidden professional dragon blood shield warrior, plus a god-level steel dragon bloodline. His defense attribute is very abnormal. Now that he has become a dragon, all attributes have doubled. In these 3 minutes, his defense is probably much more terrifying than that of a god-level strongman. However, no matter how strong the defense, protection, and resistance are, they still need blood volume to support. Long Lu is just a player holy king, and before the player becomes a god, his blood volume is weakened by the system. After all, he is a meat tank, and his current blood volume is of course higher than that of Yang Tian, a fragile skin, but it is not much higher, only about 500 million. 500 million HP. Facing the 8-winged angel, it's nothing. Bone shield. Yang Tian waved his hand and instantly put a bone shield with 400 billion HP on Long Lu. You know, this bone shield is completely different when it is put on Yang Tian and Long Lu. Shield, to some extent, is actually an extension of a person's HP with the same HP, it depends on who has higher defense. And it is obvious that Long Liu's defense, protection, and resistance are several levels better than Yang Tian. The most important thing is, Long Lu is not a dark attribute. When facing the 8-winged angel, there is no attribute restraint. Humph, another ant. Chester snorted coldly, shaking with anger. Whether it is Yang Tian or Long Lu, they are only at the Saint King level. In Chester's view, they are all ants among ants. But these ants kept jumping around in front of him again and again, which really made him irritable. He felt that his dignity as an 8-winged angel was insulted. Die, Chester roared, swung the lightsaber in his hand, and slashed at Long Lu with a destructive force. Long Lu turned into a dragon, and all attributes doubled, including the speed. At this time, Long Liu's speed was about the same as Yang Tian's. It might be a little slower than Yang Tian, but only slightly. And Yang Tian's undercurrent would naturally not slow down his speed, but would only slow down Chester's speed. So that means, at this time, Long Lu and Yang Tian were both slightly faster than Chester. Facing Chester's single attack, Long Lu could have dodged if he wanted to. But he didn't. In his opinion, he didn't need to worry about anything, just blocking Chester. Everything else could be left to Brother Shui. Wow, isn't Long Lu a bit stubborn? Brother Shui has an invincible blood-sucking shield, but now he doesn't dare to fight the 8-winged angel head-on. What's the reason for Long Lu? Yes, Long Lu is at the Saint King level, and even if he is a tank, he only has a few 100 million HP. Even if Brother Shui puts a bone shield on him, Brother Shui's bone shield is only a few 100 billion HP, right? You have to know that the Dark Army is a god-level strongman with 2 or 3 trillion HP, but he was still killed by Chester in one move. Compared to the blood-sucking shield, the bone shield is definitely useless, otherwise Brother Shui would have used it himself long ago. Seeing Long Lu preparing to fight Chester head-on, the audience was a little surprised, thinking that Long Lu was stubborn and couldn't understand the situation. But despite this, they still paid close attention to everything on the battlefield. Defensive posture. Block. Seeing Chester's lightsaber slashing towards him, Long Lu released 2 defensive skills in a row without saying a word. This defensive posture is the basic skill of the shield warrior, but it is also a soul skill. Super God Undead Lord. Author, Ba Wangshi-san. Chapter 508. After using the defensive stance, the shield warrior will make a defensive posture, which can reduce damage by 50%, which is very effective. The defensive stance lasts forever and has no CD, that is, you can turn it on and off as you like. But when the shield warrior continues the defensive stance, the movement speed drops by half. Therefore, if the shield warrior wants to play the defensive stance well, he also needs extremely solid basic skills, that is, to switch the defensive stance flexibly and smoothly between attack, movement, and defense. A truly powerful shield warrior will not reduce the movement speed when using the defensive stance, because they will turn off the defensive stance when moving, and they will switch back instantly when defending. This is simple to say, but it is extremely difficult to operate in practice. The defensive stance itself is a very terrible double-edged sword. If there is a slight mistake, for example, you turn on the defensive stance in advance before the enemy attacks, then your movement speed will be halved at that moment, which will become a fatal loophole, and you will no longer be able to protect your teammates. In the end, all your teammates died, and what's the point of you, a shield warrior, surviving? Do you have any damage? As the chief tank of the Water Alliance, Long Lu had already practiced his defensive posture to the point where he could control it freely and instinctively. And a shield warrior like him was undoubtedly the best tank. Ordinary players would call him a tank daddy if they met such a shield warrior teammate. Compared to the defensive posture, blocking is just an ordinary damage reduction skill. Bang! Chester's lightsaber, which contained destructive energy, suddenly slashed on Long Liu's giant shield, causing an explosion. After such a horrible blow, Long Lu remained motionless, still full of blood, but there were slight cracks on the bone shield on the surface of his body. There is no doubt that Long Lu held on. Well, Long Liu's defense is really abnormal. If a shield with a life strength of 400 billion is put on me, Chester might be able to easily pierce it with a little finger. Yang Tian sighed, slightly surprised. You know, even if the strength of his scarlet shield has lost 2/3, it is still about 7,000 trillion. 7,000 trillion and 400 billion, this is a difference of 10,000 times. A strange idea suddenly popped up in Yang Tian's mind. If his scarlet shield could be transferred to Long Lu, wouldn't Long Lu be really invincible? Of course, Yang Tian himself knew that it was impossible, the scarlet shield could not be transferred. And even if Long Lu also has the blood-sucking special effect, with Long Liu's touching fighting power, it is impossible to suck much blood. He actually held on? What kind of freak is Long Lu? Too scary. The eight-winged angel killed the Dark Army in seconds, but couldn't beat Long Lu, a holy king. Yes, he couldn't beat him. Look at the shield on his body, it's almost intact. Well, don't be so excited. Long Lu is a shield warrior after all, and he has doubled all attributes with the dragon transformation, so his defense ability is naturally terrifying. Damn, who just swore that Long Lu was stubborn and could never hold on? Doesn't it hurt? Okay, I apologize, Long Lu is sorry. Long Lu, I'm sorry. 666, Long Lu, I'm sorry. Compared to Yang Tian, the audience at the scene and the huge number of viewers in many live broadcast rooms were more surprised. After all, Yang Tian was still just skeptical about whether Long Lu could hold on to Chester, but many viewers had never thought about it. They only thought that Long Lu was too fragile in front of Chester and would be killed instantly by Chester. The scene before their eyes was completely opposite to their thoughts, so they were naturally shocked. In addition to Yang Tian and countless viewers, Chester was also very shocked. His eyes were wide open, his mouth was open, and he looked like he had seen a ghost. At this time, he had only one thought in his mind: is it that our eight-winged angels have become weaker, or are the current holy kings too strong? Damn it, a mere holy king, an ant-like existence, I don't believe that I can't kill you, Chester roared and attacked Long Lu continuously. He is an 8-winged angel, equivalent to the realm of God. He has super high strength, and can easily knock Yang Tian away with just one move. However, he attacked Long Lu continuously, but Long Lu did not move, and felt as heavy as a mountain. Long Lu is a shield warrior, with the blood of a god-level steel dragon and a heart of stone, so his stiffness is very high. The transformation into a divine dragon doubled his stiffness, so that even Chester, the 8-winged angel, could not knock him away. Long Lu did not lose blood at all despite Chester's fierce attack, and even the glass bone shield on his body only had tiny cracks little by little. The scarlet shield has no entity, just like a translucent shield. The strength of the scarlet shield can only be judged abstractly and vaguely by color. The glass bone shield is entity, and every time it loses strength, the bone shield will crack. For Chester, he can intuitively judge the remaining strength of the glass bone shield on Long Lu. However, he found that he really couldn't beat the opponent. Damn, this stupid big guy's defense is too terrifying, like an iron wall. After a long attack without success, Chester took a breath and began to think. He knew that Long Lu's defense was strong, but he had basically no output ability, and he posed no threat to him. Well, I just need to kill Han Shui first. This big fool, wait until I kill Han Shui, and then slowly torture him. Chester showed a cruel smile on his face, and began to deliberately avoid Long Lu and try to attack Yang Tian. However, Long Lu always followed him, making it impossible for him to attack Yang Tian. Here, Long Lu's perfect mastery of the defensive posture is once again demonstrated. You know, if he makes a slight mistake and his speed is halved, he will not be able to stop Chester. Wow, Long Lu is also very strong, and his defensive posture switches freely and smoothly. It's really scary. Long Lu uses the defensive posture, and there is no slowing down of the speed. This is obviously a tank dad. It's so exciting. First, Brother Shui's perfect walking and cutting, and then Long Lu's perfect mastery of the defensive posture. This battle is really cool to watch. To be honest, even if Brother Shui and Long Lu lose now, I won't blame them. Of course, judging from the current situation, they don't seem to lose. There was another cheer at the scene. In many live broadcast rooms, the screen was instantly filled with 666 bullet comments. Obviously, Yang Tian's attack and Long Lu's perfect control of the defensive posture were equally wonderful. At this time, because of Long Lu's perfect containment, Yang Tian was completely liberated and could do whatever he wanted. He almost stood behind Long Lu and output to Chester without thinking, and there was no danger at all. There is no doubt that there is a strong tank in the team, and the output environment of the shooter is too good and too comfortable. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Super God Undead Lord. Author, Ba Wang Shi-san. Chapter 509. Under Yang Tian's continuous fierce attack, Chester began to lose blood even if the damage was low. To be honest, if Yang Tian just wanted to disgust Chester, he could even fight with his eyes closed. When Chester's health bar dropped to a quarter, he finally panicked, completely lost his will to fight, and turned around to flee. Li Ming, I can't solve your troubles, you can only wish for good luck. Chester left a cold sentence, leaving Li Ming stunned in place, and desperately fled backwards. Even the purple Dochi lotus that was surging around him also changed its shape and turned into a pair of Dochi light wings inserted behind him. For a while, his speed soared. However, Yang Tian also transformed his Dochi into wings at the same time, and his speed soared accordingly. Moreover, the undercurrent under his feet moved with him, always slowing down Chester's speed by 30%. Because of this, Chester could never distance himself from Yang Tian, but was instead pulled closer by Yang Tian. While chasing, Yang Tian made good use of walk and cut to kite Chester infinitely. As mentioned above, shooters, including archers, musketeers, and mages, cannot move while shooting. Of course, any other profession cannot move while attacking. Ordinary shooter players, who don't know how to walk and cut, like to stand in place and shoot, commonly known as standing and shooting. He shoots very happily, and he will be stunned when the enemy escapes his attack range. When he reacts, it is already too late, because the enemy has already run away. Some people will just smile awkwardly and never make progress. And some people start to reflect and slowly learn to walk and cut. Walking and cutting is actually moving and attacking, moving and attacking. Although you can't move at the moment of attack, you can move after the attack, and when you move after the attack, it will offset the closing action, that is, the swinging action after the attack. In this way, you can stick to the opponent and shoot. When the enemy advances, I retreat, and when the enemy retreats, I advance, just like flying a kite, pulling the enemy to fight. But even if walking and slashing is 10,000 times better than standing and shooting, you cannot move when attacking, this is an ironclad fact. Walking and slashing is faster than standing and shooting, but walking and slashing is slower than pure movement, this is an indisputable fact. If you are a shooter, when your movement speed is the same as the enemy, or even slower than the enemy, then you can only kite a few times at most. For shooters, movement speed is very important. At the moment, Yang Tian's movement speed is obviously faster than Chester. So even if Chester is purely running away, Yang Tian can stick to him by walking and slashing, and naturally form an infinite kite. Of course, Yang Tian is Yang Tian, and what he can do does not mean that all shooters can do it. For ordinary shooters, even if he has the same attributes as Yang Tian, he may not be able to kite Chester infinitely. Walking and slashing, this thing is simple in theory, but it is extremely difficult to learn, or even master it. In fact, a shooter who can master walking and slashing is undoubtedly a first-class shooter. Because most shooters are only at the level of standing and shooting, asking them to move and attack is like asking them to eat shit, which is extremely uncomfortable. At this time, Chester desperately ran away, and his back was completely exposed to Yang Tian. Yang Tian's attack naturally triggered a triple back attack. Until this time, Yang Tian finally confirmed that Chester was finished, but he didn't want to let Li Ming go, so he shouted to Long Lu, leave this to me, you go to contain Li Ming. Long Lu nodded and rushed over to stick to Li Ming. After Long Lu's transformation into a dragon, his speed must be much faster than Li Ming's. Although Long Lu did not have much damage, as long as he could contain Li Ming and prevent him from escaping, it would be enough. It's a sure thing. Brother Shui and Long Lu have already won this battle. The eight-winged angel was completely scared and completely lost the will to fight. Once the eight-winged angel died, Li Ming would naturally be nothing. Congratulations to Brother Shui for killing another eight-winged angel. It's really scary. Brother, there's also Long Lu. To be honest, if there wasn't Long Lu, Brother Shui alone couldn't beat the eight-winged angel. Don't spray me, I'm just telling the truth. Yes, Long Lu is really scary. The Shui League is awesome. Now, in addition to Brother Shui, there are three great gods under the Shui League, Yinu Hongyan, Lang Ling, and Long Lu. The Shui League is bound to rise. 666. The battle was clearly not over yet, but the cheers from the scene rang out first, and even in many live broadcast rooms, the crazy barrage rhythm began. Obviously, many viewers had already predicted the ending in advance. And the fact was just as they expected. 10 seconds later, Chester's blue energy was exhausted because of the wings of Dochi. The purple wings of Dochi behind him disappeared instantly, and he couldn't even open the Dochi lotus. Compared with Chester, Yang Tian's blue energy was still full because of the heart of the divine tree. When Chester's Do Chi wings dissipated and his movement speed was greatly reduced, Yang Tian also transformed the Do Chi wings and turned them into Do Chi lotus again to cover his whole body. At this moment, Yang Tian's damage to Chester increased eightfold. He stood and shot directly, 3 arrows in 1 second, and then took Chester away with another damage deepening. With a bang, Chester exploded a large number of items in the air, and fell down with his body. System, congratulations on killing the 8-winged angel Chester and gaining 200 million experience points and 100 million merit points. System, congratulations on completing the first kill of the 8-winged angel Chester, and gaining an additional 2 billion experience points and 10 skill points as rewards. Merit points. Yang Tian was startled as the system prompt sounded in his ears. He crushed the soul ball and liberated the soul to the god's domain to gain merit points. Now he killed the 8-winged angel and also gained merit points, and it was 100 million points directly. What is the use of this merit point? Could it be that the merit point is the key to the continued advancement of the gods? Yang Tian thought to himself, and then laughed and shook his head. He was just guessing about this kind of thing. All the results will have to wait until he reaches the god's domain. After killing Chester, Chester exploded with a lot of coins, equipment, materials, etc., and even a bloodline of the 8-winged angel. But Yang Tian did not pick it up directly, but rushed to Li Ming first. At this time, Li Ming was being restrained by Long Lu and could not get away. Seeing Yang Tian coming, he was even more like a formidable enemy, so scared that his hair stood on end and cold sweat ran down his body. It's over, it's all over. Li Ming was disheveled and in a mess, and he was desperate to the extreme in an instant. Li Ming is a god-level strongman. And the recovery ability of a god-level strongman is amazing. In a non-combat state, it automatically recovers 10% of blood and mana per second. In the battle between Yang Tian and Chester, he has recovered to his peak state. Although Long Lu restrained him, Long Lu basically did no harm, and he was basically full of blood at this time. But even so, facing Yang Tian who could kill Chester, he still felt that he had no chance of winning. Super God Undead Lord. Author, B.A. Wang Shi-san. Chapter 510. Even so much so that Li Ming felt that he had no room to resist. And the fact was just as he expected. Yang Tian almost crushed him, and Yang Tian once again gained a huge amount of experience points and 10 skill points. Swish. A white light rose, and Yang Tian leveled up again, reaching level 183. China War Zone broadcast, player Muddy Waters killed Li Ming, causing the destruction of the Guangzhou Empire. 100 cities under the Guangzhou Empire were liberated and became independent cities. At the same time, the broadcast sounded, and it swiped 3 times in the sky over the entire China War Zone, causing an uproar. So far, the Guangzhou Empire, the Dark Empire, and the Tianlan Empire were all destroyed. In the entire China War Zone, there was only one empire, the Xianyuan Empire. At this moment, thousands of powerful men above the Spirit King of various empires in the sky, and countless elite soldiers of the Guangzhou Empire below, looked at Yang Tian as if they were looking at a terrifying killing god, which frightened them instantly, screamed, and fled in all directions. Yang Tian considered that the duration of his transformation was about to expire, so he did not pursue. You know, after the transformation, he will be weak for 5 minutes. Yang Tian did not want to capsize at this time. Besides, his goal today was also achieved. 8-winged angel Chester, Li Ming, Dark Army, Gong Yuan, all died, an 8-winged angel bloodline and 3 godheads were revealed. Among them, Dark Army was killed by Chester. The things that Dark Army revealed were protected by property, and only Chester, or his teammates and allies could pick them up. However, Chester had already fallen, and he could not pick them up. After 10 minutes, the property protection disappeared, the items that Dark Army revealed naturally fell into Yang Tian's hands. Xiaofei, don't you want the bloodline of acceleration? This 8-winged angel bloodline increases the attack and movement speed by 80%, and even increases the combat power by 8 times. Yang Tian looked at Xiaofei and smiled. 8-winged angel bloodline, god-level bloodline, and godhead are all items of the same level. But it is obvious that the first two are better than the godhead. After all, the godhead has no bloodline skills. Even the bloodline of the 8-winged angel is better than most of the god-level bloodlines, because the bloodline skills of the 8-winged angel are too strong. In fact, it is more than that. After the player uses the god-level bloodline or godhead, he needs to reach level 200 to become a god. But the bloodline of the 8-winged angel is different. Not to mention Xiaofei, even if it is just a level 1 small account, after using it, it will become an 8-winged angel, with skyrocketing attributes and flying in the sky. Just your race will also change from human to angel. Brother Shui, Xiaofei shouted excitedly. There is no doubt that the bloodline of the 8-winged angel meets all his requirements, and even far exceeds them. Brother Shui actually gave away the blood of the 8-winged angel? He doesn't want it himself? No matter how generous you are, you can't do this, right? Brother Shui has the blood of the dragon. Players and even NPCs can only have one blood. What a joke. Even so, the blood of the dragon is comparable to the blood of the 8-winged angel. Brother, you can't say that. The dragon transformation doubles all attributes within 3 minutes. Who can stop it? But you only have those 3 minutes? Besides, after 3 minutes, you will fall into weakness for 5 minutes. In addition, you can only become a god with the blood of the dragon at level 200, but I can become an 8-winged angel instantly with the blood of the 8-winged angel. I can enter the realm of God in advance. Seeing the scene in front of them, countless audiences at the scene and the vast number of audiences in many live broadcast rooms were instantly excited. Even after Xiaofei reacted, he asked, Brother Shui, do you really not want this 8-winged angel bloodline? Obviously, including Xiaofei, everyone is now discussing which is stronger, the 8-winged angel bloodline or the dragon bloodline. First of all, the 8-winged angel bloodline can allow people to enter the realm of God in advance, and this advantage is absolute. Excluding this advantage, if we only talk about the strength of bloodline skills, we can only say that both are very strong. I am afraid that everyone has their own opinions and it is impossible to discuss a unified answer. Of course, Yang Tian doesn't care which is stronger, the 8-winged angel bloodline or the dragon bloodline. Because if he wants to become the human king, he must not use angel or demon bloodline. You know, a dragon bloodline can be comparable to the 8-winged angel or the 8-winged demon bloodline, and the human king can have up to 7 bloodlines, let alone. Well, I don't want it, take it if you want. But I have to remind you that I don't know much about angels, Yang Tian said cautiously. Hearing that Yang Tian really didn't want the blood of the 8-winged angel, Xiaofei was overjoyed and said quickly, it's okay, I'm a player. Whether the angels are hostile to humans or gods, I have my own position. Brother Shui, I'm a member of the Shui League. For the Shui League, I don't mind being enemies with other angels. As Xiaofei said, players are players after all, and have their own judgments and positions. For example, most of the audience at the scene are actually members of the 3 kingdoms, but Yang Tian destroyed the empire they belonged to, but they didn't react at all, and even clapped and cheered. Well, Yang Tian nodded, said nothing more, and handed the blood of the 8-winged angel to Xiaofei. After Xiaofei took it, he directly became an 8-winged angel, which is equivalent to the realm of God. There is no way. Angels and demons are divided into realms according to the number of wings. 2 wings are equal to the Spirit King, 4 wings are equal to the Fairy King, 6 wings are equal to the Holy King, and 8 wings are equal to God. This is a racial advantage that humans can't envy. Wow, Brother Shui, My HP has increased from 100 million to 1.6 trillion. And my basic combat power has also reached 3 billion, Xiao Fei suddenly screamed, shocking countless viewers on the scene and the vast number of viewers in many live broadcast rooms. What? HP increased from 100 million to 1.6 trillion? Is this the blood of the eight-winged angel? However, Yang Tian knew that it had nothing to do with the blood of the eight-winged angel. It was purely because Xiao Fei reached the realm of God and the system no longer restricted his HP. Of course, if you say it is related, there is nothing wrong with it. After all, Xiao Fei also reached that realm because of the use of the blood of the eight-winged angel. At the same time, Xiao Fei's basic combat power also reached 3 billion, which is no different from the general god-level strongman. However, Yang Tian was stunned. In his opinion, the blood skills of angels and demons that increase combat power should be passive skills. In this case, as Xiao Fei is an eight-winged angel, his basic combat power should be increased eightfold. What's going on? Isn't it a passive skill? Yang Tian was indeed very curious about the angels and demons. Just as he was about to ask, Xiao Fei screamed again. Wow, the blood of the eight-winged angel actually has 3 blood skills. Brother Shui, he, you miscalculated this time. Xiao Fei smiled and sent the 3 blood skills of the eight-winged angel to the Shui Meng channel at the same time. Xiao Fei's scream immediately shocked countless viewers.